For me, studying history was always studying other nations, other continents, and maybe a little bit of the first African history, but never enough about the actual history of Africa itself. This has spread on to our daily lives, where the news we receive is mostly about other continents and other nations, whilst the African news goes below the radar or is only prominent in the continent itself. I'm here to try and give you more of the African news, dispel that bias, and maybe give you something interesting to talk about in your day-to-day conversation, as we all have busy working days or busy school days. This is why What's Happening Africa is here to give you updates every week. Welcome back to What's Happening Africa with Tanya. Today we'll start with the southern African country Botswana, where Botswana and De Beers reached a new agreement on their diamond sales. Botswana and mining company De Beers have reached a new diamond sales agreement granting Botswana a larger portion of rough stones from their joint venture. Alongside a 25-year mining license, the Botswana rough diamond production will be a joint venture with De Beers for the next 10 years until 2033. Botswana, which is a joint venture by De Beers and the Botswana government, currently sells its 75% output to De Beers. The remaining percentage is taken by the state-owned Okavango Diamond Corporation. The deal that was finalized on Friday is a 10-year contract until 2033 for the De Beers company with Botswana. This is also alongside a 25-year-long mining license. This agreement is coming up after the president of Botswana, Mokgweetsi Masisi, has been asking that a larger percentage of the mining output be given to the state. This is because the president is working to reduce the impact on the dominance that De Beers has on the country's outputs and their mining of precious gems. This agreement will help the country have more involvement in their diamond industry and their mining industry as a whole. In Kenya, due to the unfortunate cross-border crimes and increased terrorist attacks, they have decided to delay the reopening of the Somalia-Kenyan border. The decision was announced by Kenya's Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki during a visit to the Dadaab refugee camp. Kenya was supposed to start a phased reopening of the Somalia-Kenyan border, but because of the terrorist attacks and the crimes that have been occurring on that very border, they've decided to delay it, especially due to the increase that occurred in June. This is all attributed to the ongoing Al-Shabaab attacks in the border regions. In June, several counties including Mandera, Wajir, Garissa, and Limu witnessed over 15 terrorist incidents, resulting in the loss of more than 20 lives, predominantly security personnel. Kindiki stated that whilst the plan still remains and will be put forward, right now there is a delay, and this delay will remain until these terrorist attacks and the crimes reduce. In South Sudan, the President Salva Kiir has confirmed that the elections that were supposed to happen and that were planned to happen will be going on next year. President Kiir, who's been in power since 2011, has announced that he would be willing to run for elections next year. Although no other candidates, as far as we know, have signed up to run for candidacy next year, the first Vice President, Riek Machar, is expected to run against the president. The elections are seen as crucial for South Sudan's stability and transition to a more democratic phase. The leaders aim to address challenges related to implementing the peace agreement before the December of 2023 elections. The declaration by President Kiir will pave a way for a more democratic state for South Sudan. Back in Southern Africa, the South Africa's Deputy Vice President Security is making headlines all over social media. 4 police officers who held security positions for the Deputy President of South Africa are facing assault and other offense charges due to a video that went viral recently. The unfortunate video is of the security officers pulling out 2 men on the South African highway and assaulting them in public. The records state that one of them was assaulted to the point of being unconscious. Witnesses have also claimed that guns were waved around during this assault. Although no shots were fired, it was still a violent threat to these 2 men. The officers were part of the VIP protection unit known as the Blue Light Brigade, which has faced scrutiny for its aggressive tactics and alleged abuse of power. The incident has reignited concerns about police brutality in the country. Whilst the evidence shows that 7 officers were involved, only 4 will be suspended, with further investigation to go forward. On a more lighter note, we go to Morocco, where the Gnawa World Festival occurred at the end of June last month. Morocco's renowned Gnawa World Music Festival is making a comeback after the COVID-19 break. The festival celebrates the spiritual music heritage of Gnawa. The festival was established in 1998 by a Moroccan entrepreneur, Neila Tazi. Gnawa, recognized as intangible cultural heritage by UNESCO in 2019, is experiencing a revival, mostly led by young women who infuse it with a fresh and inclusive energy. The festival attracts people from all over the world to enjoy these Gnawa musicians and artists, including also diverse groups and musicians as well. The event showcases the power of African rhythms as it features fusion collaborations between Gnawa masters and artists spanning jazz, kawali, Kaban music, and various African styles. Festival coordinator stated in an interview, "It really shows the power of music in Africa and African rhythms and its capacity to make fusions with so many various styles of music." Finally, if you've been following Zimbabwean cricket on my channel, I am sad to say that they could not qualify because of their game against Sri Lanka, which they unfortunately lost, and their game against Scotland. Nevertheless, do not be dismayed. I will still be bringing you fresh African sports and entertainment as well as the headlines. This has been What's Happening Africa with Tanya. Thank you for watching, and do not forget to subscribe and like the channel and the page, and also all the other social media platforms where I'll be posting shorter form videos just for your convenience. Thank you and goodbye.